Hello and welcome. Well, I welcome you to my Ferris IS3000 zero-turn lawn mower. It's getting on a bit now. We bought it in about, we bought new actually in about 2006, 2007. With the collection system, it's got a power collection system that goes with it. And it cost us around 12 grand. So it's an expensive machine, but it's done a hell of a lot of work since we've had it. And it's still doing quite a bit of work now, really. It's not ideal for the job that we have for it, because it's, well, basically meadow, and this has got a finishing mower on it, not a topper. I'd rather have a topper, but there you go. But it's in dire need of new blades, and they arrived the other day. I did mention it in a previous video. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the blades over. But what I have done, I have to be honest, knowing what these things are like, to get the bolts undone, I have loosened all the bolts up before making this video. But I'll show you what we've done anyway. But one of the bolts is particularly stubborn. I mean, ridiculously stubborn it was. And it took me about an hour to literally just loosen it up. I ended up using a welder, a stick welder, arc welder, to literally just heat the bolt up. And to localise the heat on the bolt. Because what I didn't want to do is use a blowtorch, because then you end up heating everything up, including the bearing. I didn't want to do that, because it's got like your seals on it, and you could damage the bearings. Didn't want to do that, and you dry the bearing out as well. So all it does is applied heat, using the weld, try to weld on the top of the bolt, to heat the bolt up so it can actually be loosened, and it worked straight away. So, oh god, that was such a relief. Because what's happened is the head of this bolt has become a little bit mangled. It needs a new bolt, really, which I'll have to order one. But for the moment, I'm going to have to put it back on again, because I need to cut this grass. The other option I've got with this bolt, if I want to be a bit Heath Robinson, I could just weld another nut on top of the bolt. Or I could file the bolt down slightly, so it's like a millimetre smaller than, using a slightly smaller socket on that bolt head. Because over the years, because the original bolts, you see, over the years, they've become a bit mangled. And especially the one on this side here, on the left-hand side of the mower. And so what we're going to do, no further ado, well, I'll take you with me. I'll try and get you as close as I can. We're going to change the blades of this machine. And look at the thickness of them buggers. Yeah, they're proper blades. They're not like like little hater blades or Mountfields or stuff like that. No, these are proper blades. And they're not expensive. I thought that I paid more than what I did, but I did. These are Copperhead blades, and they're replacements for the 510 755s for this particular machine, also on Skags and that as well. Another machine very similar to these, zero turns, or hydraulic and all that, hydrostatics and stuff. And they're brilliant. And these are made in the USA, the blades are, but I'm here in France. It's an American machine, you see. But it's great. It's a great machine in many ways. But like I say, I could do a changing it. What I could do if it's actually a tractor with a topper or a flail mower or something like that. Cut what we've got here, make a better job, and we wouldn't have to cut as often. And the benefit of that is just for the insects and stuff. It gives them a chance to, reproduce and all that, as they do. So I'm going to put you on my little handheld device here. And I'm going to apologise in advance, just in case you see any precarious parts of my body, because I'm going to be in precarious positions. Scary thought. You probably clicked away now, haven't you? Well, first of all, I'm going to start with the ones I know. Well, actually, I'm going to start with the one that I had to heat up, because I've already got the gear that side. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do this one here on that side. So we're going to come over here. I'm not going to put the blade on this side straight away. And we're going to have to, how to put it? Give it some thought on what I'm going to do regarding the that bolt, because it is kind of shagged. And I'll put you there. I might actually get a little light on the go as well. Put some light on the matter. We'll take that out of the way. This is the welder that I use, it's a little stick welder. And I've got a little jack here, there's a little scissor jack here, and that's helping holding the deck up higher. I've got the back of the machine also on a jack at the back there. Just get a little bit more height on the actual mower as well. And I've got a what do you call them? A little thingy, it's for safety on the back as well, so it don't rock off the actual off the jack. Axle stand, that's it, axle stand. So let's bring it down here like so. And I'm going to bring you right close in a minute if I can get a light underneath there. Which I've got here, that's handy. I've got a light here. Such as there. It might be a bit of an overkill, but we'll see. Get some light under the mower, you'll be able to see under the mower. So that is the plan. And I love it when a plan comes together. Reeling off the old cable. And let's get the light under there. It's good for me as well, because I'll be able to see. And it's good to be able to see what you're doing. So I'll put that over there like so, I think. Is that enough? That's probably enough. Oh, that looked better. Right. I've got this long Tommy bar here, like that one, and it's about what? Ooh, about 600mm long. It's, yeah, reasonably long. And this is 2005. That was apparently bought that. So I've got it on there, but I might not need it, but we'll see. Now I remove the earth clamp now for the actual welder, because like I say, I used the welder just to heat the actual bolt up. That's all I used it for. I won't try to weld anything to it. But I was thinking to myself, what's the best way to localise the heat? Now, what I've done is, on this particular one, I've trapped the pulley up the top here. Let me show you. I've trapped the pulley so it can't turn. I've put in another little Tommy bar in there at an angle on top of this cast pulley so that can't spin. There is a place you can put a spanner, but there's no way of actually holding the spanner when you're under. It's a bit of a pain. So let's take that off there for a second. You have to bear in mind, this is all a bit of heat problems, so I'm not going to edit this video. No, we're going to bring you under. Even though that's possible. Can you see? Oh, you can see it there. There you go. How about that for a view? That can't be bad, can it? So anyway, we're going to put this Tommy bar back on here. I know it's loose because I've already done it, but that was a hell of a job. This one was. So now it should. Oh, yeah, it's loose. Very loose, let's see. And well, that's cooled down. It's even looser. So now we should be able to remove that off there. But before I get carried away here, although because I had to tap that on, because I've got a slightly smaller socket than needed, I had to tap it on because the actual bolt isn't in very good shape. So I'll take that off before I get carried away undoing the bolt. Otherwise, I'll have to put it in the vise and do it to get the socket off. So it's backwards and forwards a few times, it should fall off. Oh, there you go, that's off. And you can see, if you can probably see a little lump on the bottom of that nut there. And that's where I've put a bit of weld on it. And you can see I've been having trouble. I even had Stilsons on it to try and undo it. Started off with the right size bolt, but I just keep riding off. So luckily that's coming off. Thank God for that. I greased the bolts as well before I put them on. So I don't think it's the actual bolt itself in the threads that are stopping it from coming undone. I think it's basically stuck itself to the actual washer. Maybe it needs a new washer. I'll probably need that as well, doesn't it? So what I'll do is I'll probably have to order it. Oh my God, it's really bad. The state of that now. You can see I've had the Stilsons on it to try and undo it. That's like the last resort that was. Now I've got a couple of options now. The best option obviously is to replace this. Because one thing as you see here, that washer was probably like rusted itself and seized itself onto the actual blade. But also the head of the bolt looks like it's like dug itself into the actual washer. The washer's got a bit of a concave on it. Been probably better to put it that way round instead of that way round. But I could flatten the washer off actually on a linen shirt if I wanted to. If I want to be that much of a cheapskate. And the bolt itself in bad shape apart from the head's buggers. But you can see where I put the weld on to heat the bolt up. And that's the only way I could undo it. Now some of this isn't because of like years of trying to get the bolt off. It's because obviously the bolt's been spinning around really fast and it's been worn by the ground. And it's like rounded off the top of the bolt. So really I need a new bolt. So I need to order one of them. If I can get one, that's the only other thing around here. It's not that easy. See, this is an American machine. So it might be a case of, oh, I can't get one and I'm going to have to you know, make do with it. So you've got another option here. I could get this bolt here, this nut here, sorry, and I might even do that anyway for now, and just weld that on there. Yeah. So just weld all the way around and fill the inside with a weld. But then, take a file or grind all those flat, and then you've got lots of surface area for that to go inside the socket. So you're less likely for it to ring off. That's more likely. So I might even do that. To be honest, I don't know if I could get a bolt. It won't be a problem. Anyway, that's off anyway. So then what we do is we'll then replace that blade. But we're not going to do that one yet. I might even weld that up first before I get carried away. But first of all, we're going to remove the other two blades first, and I'll clean up around here with a wire brush as well, around that part there. We're going to do the other two blades next to. If you look at the state of that, that's a little bit short. Yeah, and you can see we've been welding it to make the blade last longer. But now I found blades here that are cheap. I have bought blades in France before, and they were relatively okay. I mean, they were quite reasonably priced. I say reasonably priced. They were costing me about 80 quid a set. Before that, I was buying them from the United Kingdom or from the United States, but I give up on the United Kingdom since Brexit made things very difficult to get stuff and expensive. So I gave up on that one. But as you see, it's even worn through now. So the problem is when these blades are too short, they don't overlap. The two blades are together, they don't overlap, and you end up with like an uncut strip of grass, so it just knocks it flat. So yeah, if you compare that one I just took off with one of the new ones, which is where? Now bump over there. There you go. Yeah, okay. Alright. Oh my god, that's so much longer. For God's sake. This, they're not the same blades. They weren't Copperheads. I have bought Copperheads before, but they are not the same blades. But you can see the difference in length. That's nuts. That really is nuts. They're chalk and cheese there, aren't they? Blimey. Yeah, so they definitely need replacing. Okay. So that bolt, what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld that on there. Probably just going to do that now just so I can get the flipping thing off again if I need to. So let's just weld that on there. Let's put you back up there for a second. And I'd normally do this on the bench, but means I want to do it in front of the camera. Let me make sure I can do it in front of you. Well, I need a clamp. I don't really want to use one of my clamps because it'll ruin it, but there you go. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to unwind that. I don't need to clean it off because it's already shiny. Normally I'd grind it and what have you. Remember, this is temporary. That should stay on. It should go on there quite nicely. So what we're going to do is, as you see, I'm going to try and clamp that into there like so. Like I say, normally I do it in the vise, but that means I've got to move everything about. And at the moment, trying to sort of like Heath Robinsy, try to make this video. Alright, so I'm fairly confident everything there is in line with that nut. That's a metric nut, that's not imperial. And these nuts, everything on this machine is imperial because it's American. It's American, it's American. So what we're going to do is I'm going to weld that. So mind your eyes. No, you don't have to worry about it, don't worry. You're not going to get our guy. Now I've got this lovely little helmet here, and it's battery operated. There's charges up here, and what happens is that I can see through, and when it senses the flash, it blacks out the screen, so it makes it a lot easy to operate. So I can actually see what I'm doing. That's usually a good idea to see what you are doing. So I've got my helmet on. I'm now going to turn that welder on, which is that. Let's bring you back a bit more. There you go, like so. So I'm going to turn that on. And it hasn't come on. Why hasn't it gone on? Okay. Is it unplugged? That's a bit strange. Oh, I was going to turn the welder on, but it's not welding. Aha! Aha, Gymnad! Right, something else I need. I need something to hold it with. Because we're going to have to dunk it. Dunk it, we are. Right, pliers will do. Oh dear, not in it. Right, just going to grab some pliers. La 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 la. Oh, here we come, on my way back. I do apologise. Well, that's what happens when you plan not to edit a video. Anyway, pliers. We've got the pliers, and the reason why I need to hop that is because I'm going to have to be able to hold it somehow to get it dunked. Saying that, I could just take that, so it might be right. So just in case. Welder's on. Hopefully it's about right. This is when I burn my legs or something stupid. Yeah, so mind your eyes. So far so good. I'll turn it over and do the other side. Now I'm not a brilliant welder, and part of it is my hands aren't as steady as they used to be. Ever since I had carpal tunnel syndrome, I have a little bit of a shake in my hand. So it's a bit tricky to weld. With my legs out, I'll get a burn iron. Right, so we're going to grab it on there, because I'm going to turn it around a bit so I can, there's a little bit I can't get to at the minute. Yeah, just there. That side there, it's a bit blobby that bit. Oh, it's bird poo! I'm good at bird poo welding. Right, so, we're now going to... Get away, you! Right, sort of finish that little bit of weld off there, and then we need to fill that in there with weld as well. It's going to get extremely hot. Yes, right. I made a bit of a boo because I've actually welded onto the bit where I put a span onto it. We'll fire that off. This is going to be a long video, I think. I hope the battery's going to last. And now I'm going to put the weld inside there. And then we'll take it to be... Then we need to try and cool it down somehow. Let's bring it back over there. Look. There you are. Now, we're going to dunk this now in some water. As you can see, it's red hot. I'm no welder, as you can probably tell, but I get by. So let's go and dunk that in some water. And what that'll do is that'll also increase the tensile strength of the actual the nut as well. So better do it quickly. Oh, look at that. Don't put your tongue on it. It's really hot. Just think that welding just then, that I was been doing, creating all that heat, was powered by my solar panels. Right, there's my water dunker. Look at that. You do it until it stops bubbling, and that itself will actually harden the steel. There you go. So there we have our nut all dunked, and we're now in the workshop. So we're going to put the light on in the workshop. I'm going to have to go and grab something as well, because I need to make sure I grab the right size spanner for that. But what we need to do now is I need to go to the linisher over there, and I'm going to flatten off the sides and get it to it's actually yeah, fits into a spanner. Else it'd be a bit awkward to use. There we go. Right. It's going to be one of these. It's probably going to be the 23mm, I imagine. Or was that 22? I don't know, actually. Right, so what's that one there? That one's got 22 there. Is that a 22mm nut? Yes, it is. So what we need now to do now is go and grind that down. So that's that fits into a 22mm socket. So yes, I've now got 2 bolts on there, that the originals, and oh, I can't remember what that was, half-inch whipworth or something, or was it 9/16? 9/16? Oh, anyway, it's Imperial, the original ones. So what I'll do is I'm going to put you over here. How long are we up to? Oh, up to 14 minutes already. I need to speed up. Long video. I do apologise, but let's say I'm not editing this, so it's real. It's honest. That's what it is. My excuse for not editing. So let's just put this light on. Now they've got some light on me now. That's good. Right, move that away. I'm not using a grinder. I'm going to use a linisher. I might use both, but I'm probably going to be choosing the linisher and this disc on the side here. because that gives me some room. If it, for instance, starts riding off again, it shouldn't do that. It's so deep now. Look at that. Yeah, it's probably lines them a garden, them a grass. But that gives me a bit more to grind off later if I have to. But we'll see. We'll see whether or not we keep it that way. We might decide to, well, to get a new bolt. If I can get a new bolt, I will. In fact, three new bolts, to be fair. Oh, what I tell you what we do need to do is just flatten that washer off before that's more of a problem. So I'm just going to quickly flatten that washer, which will be a bit of a bugger because it's flat. So we've done a bolt. I'm happy with the bolt. That'll do that job. So let's take this washer and flatten that off a little bit. Am I making you dizzy yet? Going backwards and forwards into my workshop. No? Should be, shouldn't I, really? So let's flatten that. I've just taken some of it. I've not taken too much, it'll be too thin. But well, we need new ones, so I'll see if I can get a new one. I did actually find someone that far away that does actually sell Ferris machines, so that might be an option. And let's shove this blade back on. Put the washer there, span it in. I've got to remember that one's got a slightly smaller size head nut, or the nut's deeper than the original one. So I could do with some grease. Constant velocity grease will do, multi-purpose grease will do, any old grease, any old grease, any old grease, any old grease. There we are, put my grease. Any old thing will do, just to lubricate the bolt. I always do that, just makes sense really. I don't think we're going to be replacing all the blades in this video because the video is going to be ridiculously long, but I've shown you the worst one that I have. So, alright, so that is the nut. That's going to be going back into there like so. Before I do that though, I forgot about my wire brush. Let's go get that wire brush. I got a wire brush. I saw one earlier. There should be one in here, but I can't see it. But yeah, I did see a wire brush earlier in my workshop. Oh, look at all my lovely tools. All my lovely tools. Okay, wire brush. Got my wire brush. Back we go. Oh my giddy ass, I did the relay. Sorry. Right. Got to try and make a little bit entertaining, isn't it? They're all I'm doing is just changing blades on the flip machine. They can be immensely boring. So I'm going to bring you back down below again. Down here. Right. So you're able to see what we're doing. So that you can see this little spigot there, that thing there, that's the bottom of the bearing. Like I said, I didn't want to heat that up earlier and damage it with the blowtorch, so I used a welder to heat it up. I'm just going to get a little wire brush. There is flats on the sides here, but they're really awkward because they end up lining up. They end up lining up with the blade itself, and then they don't do no good for you because the blade's in the way to hold, to actually undo the. That's good enough. So grab some grease. Bum, 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 bum. And elbow grease won't work for this job, although you do need a bit of elbow grease. But anyway, I've got some grease, so I'm going to whack a bit of grease into that hole, like so. I'm also going to rub some of that grease around that, so it can be soaking into that. Because obviously, it's, the moisture in the grass is rotten. And these units here are expensive. Now, about 3 years ago, I think it was, I've had this deck right off, and I had to clean it all up and wire brush it down and grind it, and I added loads of weld to thicken up the top of the deck, and then I fiberglassed it to keep the water off. That's obviously a killer with decks, is water. Now, I've got my bolt there. I'm going to put a bit of grease on that as well, just to make doubly sure. You might get away with oil, but I prefer to use grease. So make sure that's right in there, all the way around. There's no point skimping on it, because you want to make sure everyone's, next time you'll take the blade off, you don't want aggro, do you? I just had a load of aggro, I don't want to do that again. Right, so we've got the washer there. We're going to grease that as well. So we're sandwiching that with grease. We don't want moisture in there and then corroding this washer, because I think that washer and the bolt head itself, I think that was part of the problem why it got stuck. And I had to heat it all up, and that solved it anyway. So now that's going to go back on there. You got all greasy fingers. You know what? I've got a box of latex gloves over there I use on the missus. No, not really. Not really. So we're going to place that on there like so. I've got blade like so. And now I'm going to screw that in there like so. And I'm literally hoping that they're the right blades. Here they are. Look at that, crikey, they were really worn. No wonder the grass isn't cutting properly. So now we're going to screw that up there like here. Now I'm going to use oh god, my hands are so greasy, it's hard to grip. And sometimes I just do keep spinning it around. Helps give you a bit of additional traction if you spin at the same time. But be wary, because the blade's sharp. Oh god, where's my that's that one out. There you go. It's grip there. That ain't going to ride off there now, is it? That's so deep, that nut. But like I say, I'm a bit wide till I start cutting the grass. I'm going to end up with lines down the bit in grass. It don't matter. Doesn't matter. That'll soon wear off. Right, screw that on there on. I'll probably get a ratchet on there. Got greasy fingers. Right. There's the ratchet. Just help make things a little bit easier. Something to grip, you know. Oh, wrong way around. Oh, right around. There you go. Right. Now you don't actually tighten these up, make these ridiculously tight, because what happens is they tighten themselves after a while because of the direction of the blades. But they need to be tight enough so they don't spin. You don't want them spinning. No. What I mean by that is they don't slip round that. So, okay, that's on there now. So we've got lower the scissor jack. I've got here just to give me a little bit additional height on that side. And then I'm going to use this, well, I don't really want to do this too tight anyway, because it's all a pain to undo. So I'm going to tighten that a little bit. Just make sure, that's it, that's tight. Right. Okay, so that one's on. So now we have a blade on. And I just took the Tommy bar off the top. So I was using the Tommy bar to stop that from turning, the pulley from turning. So I had that in there basically to stop from turning, in there, and then wedged up against the side of the chassis of the mower, and that stopped the actual blade from turning. But now, if we have a look underneath here now, if you can see, here we are. Can now turn freely. So now I just got to do the other two blades. Anyway, so far so good. There's no point me doing the other videos, the other blades are already at what, don't know, we're at 14 minutes? I think so. Or was it split into two videos? Probably, I bet it hasn't it? Don't know if it's 14 minutes, is it 14 minutes? Anyway, that's how I put the blades on my Ferris IS3000 with independent suspension. Ooh, really? Okay. It's a good machine though, that is. That is for what it's designed for. It's just not designed for what I'm using it for, to be honest. As you see here, that's what I sort of jacked the back end up to hold the machine up while I do the blades. So there you go. So I'm going to do the other two blades and then we might take it for a ride in a minute. But that'll do for this video. So I'm going to say, well, have a lovely day. Oh, I hope so, because the sun is now shining. Oh, it's creeping through the clouds, it is. Just about. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, probably not. Well, there you go. Ta-ta.